Hey, welcome to another episode of the Delayed Gratification Podcast, where we talk about building wealth and being successful over time. What does it take? Our guest gives us great inspiration and great stories. Today, no other than the Denmarks, Antonio and Ashley out of Birmingham, Alabama, are here, and we got some great things to talk about. Can y'all introduce yourselves?
I am Ashley Denmark.
I'm Antonio Denmark.
We are real estate investors. We've been investing in real estate since April of 2009. What we do two simple things. We BRRRR is our first half, and then our exit strategy is with lease option. So we help people who normally don't qualify for a home, get them qualified while they're living in one of our homes so that they can buy it. Want to add?
We also run a local meetup, REI Live. We also are real estate coaches.
Absolutely.
I love it. Y'all got plenty of money.
We're trying.
So listen, y'all are the first couple to be on the podcast.
Yay.
Thank y'all so much. I wouldn't have it no other way. But I got some good questions for y'all. But I want to start with this. You said you started in 2009, 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
God, has it gone by fast or slow?
Super fast.
Super fast.
Yes.
Grown. Because I met y'all in 17, maybe?
Yes.
Somewhere in like 17. Y'all
17
already
or
with
18. Yeah.
already with the big dogs on the block. And now it's at a whole new level.
We're trying.
But I want to talk about how it started.
Ooh, okay. Okay.
You sure?
I got to know. We want to know.
Well, I'll talk about the beginning and you pick up wherever I leave off.
Yeah. All right.
All right. It started from one of my frat brothers.
Oh.
I was coaching football. He was coaching with me. And he took me to an auction. I didn't say I went to an auction. He took me to an auction. He was one of them cats that said, you get in the car, you just get in and you go. So we went to an auction that was back in 2008. It was in the crash, and they were auctioning off houses. Mm-hmm. And in this auction, people weren't bidding on all of the houses. Some of the houses was actually going back to them.
What city were you in?
I'm in Birmingham.
Okay, so you're in Birmingham.
I'm in Birmingham. I'm fresh out of college. Don't know nothing about a house. And it was amazing to see a room full of investors, hundreds of people, and they are not buying $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 houses, whole houses. So I go home and I tell Ashley about it, and she excited because she got her own real estate background, little background anyway.
Right.
And we went and got some education, and it was over with from there.
Wow. So 2008 is when it kind of got inside of you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right? With the auction.
Yes.
What happened next?
We went and bought a training. Had no idea it was a wholesale training. Bought the package, $10,000. We're ready to go, and we find out that the state of Alabama records aren't up to date back then because they barely use the internet. So this robust program we thought we had, we really couldn't do anything with it. So a lot of it just like went in storage for real, and we just started going to the actual trainings. Okay. So we went to the trainings, and we would meet people, and we didn't understand what they were talking about inside the rooms. Like, we were so far-fetched from real estate, money, from financial literacy. We didn't know what they were talking about. So everything they said was going over our head, but it was in the breaks we would meet people, and people would say, oh, I got 2 houses. Oh, I got 10 houses. Oh, I got 15 houses. Oh, I got
50 houses.
50 houses.
The lady said she had 50 houses.
What? What you mean? How do you get 50? Like, we just bought our first house in high school. What you mean?
So y'all had bought a house already?
No, my parents had bought
my
first house in high school.
Okay.
So how do you buy 50? Like, that's not normal. And she said, using OPM, other people money. Mm. And at that point, it was like, well, how do we do that?
Let me back up a little bit, though. So that's 2008, 9. What were y'all doing prior to, and I know y'all are really young, what were y'all doing prior to 2008 when you was doing this? What were you doing?
We both graduated college in 2008.
Oh, y'all were fresh out of college?
We were fresh out of college. I was working at Regions Bank as, honestly, You might as well call me a secretary. I was an assistant when I
You're a
started.
glorified secretary.
I was a glorified secretary. So I was working at Regions, and Antonio was coaching and being a substitute teacher.
Really? You were yelling at the kids?
No, yeah. We just cut the movie on and chill out.
The worst.
You the best substitute.
Hey,
man. Please let Mr. Denmark be the substitute this week.
Please.
So 2008, 2009, we fresh out of college. We got some decent jobs, especially at that young age. Decent job, right? I guess.
It was we didn't have any bills or responsibilities, so it was.
I ain't even gonna say I really had a job. I just wanted to coach. And at that time, we didn't have no bills and no job, and I was always an entrepreneur. So I kind of always, whether it was selling candy, I was always that guy.
Don't talk about the rest of that right now.
I mean, it's in the past now. I never did anything illegal.
There you go.
It was never illegal, but I was always doing something
To make some
helping
money.
somebody make some money. So
Gotcha.
a job wasn't necessarily at the top of my list getting out of school.
At all.
Okay. So 2009, we get into more rooms with real estate investors, and then what? When did we buy that first one?
In April, we bought the first two. We went to that same auction.
About two.
We bought two in one night.
Not by design.
We found out about it probably at like 2:00 in the afternoon, and it was gonna be at 6. That's when we found out about the auction. So we had to list the properties. So we drove around looking at the properties, but we didn't know how to get in the properties because we were brand new. So we were looking like through the windows if we could. If the door was open, we would go in. And then it became the last like 10 houses. We didn't have time to where all we did was drive by.
Yes.
So we would like circle on the sheet which ones were good options. And it was one house had a car in the driveway. So it was like, that's a good option. Let me put that it has a car.
Why did you say it was a good option?
Because Tonio's sister was going to college. Well, we had just dropped her off to Alabama State, and she didn't have a car. So we said, well, if that house comes with a car, then we can get her a car.
Okay.
That night, we bought that house.
Okay.
Tonio got happy with the battle. We was only supposed to buy one house. He got adrenaline started to rush, and before we knew it, we had two houses that night, all for under $10,000.
Wow. Two houses under 10.
Under 10 in the room.
Where'd y'all get the money from, though?
Credit cards.
Back then?
Yes.
Oh, so y'all were really advanced.
So
My
mom taught me how to build my credit,
Okay.
but she didn't teach me how to use it, if that makes sense.
Yes.
It was, if you have an emergency and you need to come home from school, then this is how you do it. And my grandma, how everybody's putting everybody as an authorized user, I was on my grandma's credit card like my sophomore year in college, because she gave me her Citco. She gave me her Citco gas card so that I can pay for gas. So I didn't know I was getting all my grandmother's history just for having that card.
But you had some people that cared about you, though, sound like.
I did.
Okay.
They didn't give me the whole why behind
They
it.
didn't know it.
They didn't know it. They didn't know it. But it worked.
It worked.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had cash.
You had cash?
I had cash. I actually used to throw parties in college.
He was the club promoter.
I was that guy. If he was selling something, throwing something, if money was involved,
You in it.
I was around the corner.
So we got some good credit, got a little cash. We buy two houses. What happens?
We went to work, bought a Home Depot book that had like everything you can do from fixing foundation to electrical to tile.
Hold on, you say we.
Yes.
We went
in the
to
beginning,
work.
it was a we.
What you trying to say now? I'm gonna come back to that one. That was it was a we out there in the field.
Well, at one point,
Good
it became an eye for him.
Oh, you left him out there in the field?
I did.
But hold on. Let me. So I got. So we started off in the field.
We started off.
Okay.
Antonio had another coach that was a general contractor. So instead of paying him to do the work, he would pay him to do the work with him so that he can learn exactly how to do it, what to do. So we would watch him do certain things, and then we would do it. And then before you know it, that house was done. And we were moving into the next house and doing it while living in it.
So the first two y'all bought, y'all fixed one up at a time.
Mm-hmm.
First one, y'all fixed it up and then what? Sold it or lived in it?
Nope, we rented it out.
Y'all rented that one out.
Yep.
Now, we lived in the other one.
The second one y'all lived in.
Yeah, we fixed the room and the kitchen, and we lived in the rest of. I was fixing it.
You stayed with him while he was doing that?
I
Oh
did.
man, she ride or die.
I did.
Ride.
Oh man, now we got to get into this one now.
Oh man,
I did.
Ride or die. Y'all had lights,
We had lights.
water.
We have water. I'm not gonna tell you this kitchen was finished because I would come home. He's lying about that part. I would literally come home and I would scrape the cabinets, like scrape the paint off the cabinets.
Yeah.
Oh, I was a beast at scraping cabinets.
Were y'all married?
No.
Not yet.
Mm-mm.
Oh, so
we
this.
probably drove our whole family crazy. Like, what are they doing?
So I guess I'm gonna ask the question like the old people. When y'all start going together? Like how old were y'all?
See, those questions
even
don't
know
line
for
up.
real.
Oh, don't
Those
ask them questions.
don't
Oh
line up.
Lord, let me not go there.
Those questions don't line up.
Okay, well let me get back to the house again. Tonio looked the other way just then. So we rented out the first house, got a little cash flow coming in. Mm-hmm. Second house we move in, and it's just y'all two. Mm-hmm. Okay, now what?
We started to pay ourselves rent while we were living in the house.
You paid yourself rent for the house that you were in,
As if we were still staying in the apartment.
Okay.
So that helped us. We were renting out one. We would pay ourselves rent. And that helped us be able to save up more money to buy the next house. So we would just continue paying. As long as we were staying in that house, we paid ourselves rent. We were getting rent coming in, and we just keep buying houses from that.
So, wow. Oh, so y'all were really smart though. Because most
We didn't
people that
think
young,
so.
no, you think about just what y'all did at an early age. People are just now catching on to that. And you're saying that was 13 years ago, 12, 13 years ago. So we got the one we live in. Then what's next? You keep working your job at Regions?
Oh, yes. I
You
did
stayed
not
there?
want to leave Regions. Yes.
You still coaching?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't stop coaching till she stopped working at Regions.
Y'all stopped at the same time?
Yeah, we made a decision.
Well, I got forced. I didn't get forced, but
Kind of,
Yeah.
sort of.
Mm-hmm.
They were getting on your nerves?
they laid everybody off and told me if I stayed, I was going to take a $10,000 pay cut.
Oh, yeah, it's time to go.
It was time to go.
That's two houses.
Time to go.
That's two houses, for real.
They offered a severance package too.
Oh, did they?
Let's take that money and run.
Which now looking at it wasn't that much money. It was $16,000.
It's a lot of money. That's three houses.
We got 2.5 out of it.
2.5.
Yeah, one of them burnt down.
No, we didn't get none of it out of it if you want to think about it. Because one cost us a lawsuit.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, we're going to talk about all of that because this is stuff that people don't like to talk about. Oh, no. So now we got the two houses. We started buying other houses.
Yeah.
When did you decide that you wanted to be a landlord versus what you do now? Like, how did you get to, because y'all are huge in that space, that lease option, owner finance kind of space. Y'all are huge.
The first flip told us we didn't want to flip consistently.
Why?
Because we did it wrong. In total transparency, because we did it wrong. We took everything we learned from our rental, thinking, oh, we got 10 plus rental properties, so why we could do a flip. We got contractors.
You got up to 10?
We got up to 10.
How quickly? How long did it take you to get to 10?
Too long.
It was about
From 2009
5 or 6
to
years.
Okay.
Because we kept the same model. Every time we bought a new house, fixed it, all the rent went towards it. So we was buying houses in the lower end of town, $5,000-$6,000. We wasn't buying nothing over $5,000. And I was doing all the work. So we was all in the houses, $6,000-$7,000. And I ain't gonna tell you I was doing some good work. But
You were getting to where 10 is
it
livable.
was getting where it was livable.
It was
$500-$600 come in. The goal was to get 10 at $500 a month, and we ain't have to work for nobody for the rest of our lives.
$5,000 a month.
$500 a month.
I'm
for each
saying
house.
about 10,
Yes.
5,000 a month
Oh,
total.
that was a lie, but
Why you can't live off 5,000 a month?
Well, not when you count when they bust their pipes, when they need a new roof, because you ain't rehab this house for real.
now when taxes due, insurance, We was just going.
I got a lot of heat. We were just talking about this. I said that the average net profit on a rental property is between $200 and $300. Got a lot of heat. Social media. My social media guru was like, "You crazy? I'm getting $1,000 a month." I'm like, "Bro, you're not getting $1,000 a month.
Not getting $1,000.
No, you're not getting $1,000, man. Like you lying."
Most people don't talk in net.
Unless you bought it at $5,000, put 10 in it. You bought it. You not buying nothing today, getting $1,000 from a traditional tenant, right? Mm-hmm. Got a lot of heat, but I mean, I'm cool. I'm cool with heat. So I'm gonna go back to y'all. So 5 years, you got 10 properties. Mm-hmm. Then you switch your strategy, or you add to your strategy.
Yeah, because we still had the properties.
The market was getting better then. It's 2015.
Oh yeah.
So now, the market done picked back up, and it's time. It's time to flip. Ashley.
So you grown.
We grown.
Put our big boy pants on now.
Okay, what happened?
Didn't know you had to pull a permit to fix these houses. So we like, we're going to be finished with this house in 3 weeks, we told somebody? Or was it 3 months?
3 months.
3 months.
3 months.
Contractor calls us.
Oh, you're not fixing the houses no more?
No, I'm trying to graduate. I bought a couple more courses, so I'm trying to do better. I ain't necessarily doing the work, but I'm getting handyman now to do the work. So
even worse.
You getting little Antonios to do the work.
I'm getting little football players come help me. I'm trying to do it that way.
Hook that wire.
The truth. I don't mind telling my failures. It's the truth.
Yeah. So first flip.
Shut down. Opening the wall. Trying to have an open floor plan. Stuff you see on HGTV. We could do that. That's nothing.
They do theirs in one episode.
Yeah.
Lies.
Shut down. No permits pulled. And then the guy was like, the inspector said, I've been passing by this house for about a week or two. I was wondering when you were going to get your permits.
Oh, he was watching y'all.
We don't even know where to get the permits.
He set y'all up.
Yeah, he's watching.
Well, y'all really set yourselves up.
We set ourselves
up.
We did. Big dumpster in the front of the yard like it's all good.
Oh, this wasn't no like painting carpet. This was y'all doing a major rehab without a permit.
This house had a pond in the back. Okay. This was real.
Rehab.
This was
what part of Birmingham was that in?
Crestwood,
next to Mountain Brook.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my neighborhood.
Yeah, well, you like to play around.
God, man.
Yeah,
yes,
so it was.
That was a nice house.
It was an ugly house, but it became nice after.
Did y'all buy that with cash? Or you got financing?
Financing.
Well, we got a lot of bad stories.
We do.
No, these good stories. Because here's the thing: when people join in and listen to this is about what it takes to build over time. How do we get to where we are? And really telling the truth. All the fluff, man, we don't need that. We need to tell, and it's gonna be some great days, right? But so I want to talk about this house, this first one.
All right. So we got financing. We thought we had got a year loan from the hard money lender. We only did purchase. So they only funded the purchase.
Oh, they didn't fund the rehab?
They didn't fund the rehab.
They offered, but
Well, no. They offered until they saw that all of our houses that we were going to use for collateral for was in the hood. And they said, we don't feel too comfortable.
So wait a minute now. You got a lender that's using your other properties, all of them?
They were going to use our other properties.
So that means you got to bring the money to closing.
That was the plan.
Okay.
But they didn't feel comfortable with the ARVs in the hood. I don't blame them because they were in the hood. So we wanted to make the deal work. So we funded the rehab and they funded the purchase.
Okay. So now you spending money out of pocket.
Yeah.
And were the other houses collateralized?
They wasn't collateralized.
So they didn't use those.
They
so you good.
To do with them.
So y'all still got my 10 free and clear.
Yeah, we still got the 10 free and clear.
Well, y'all all right with me.
So
that's 7 years ago. You got 10 houses free and clear.
Yeah.
That's pretty good now.
It took a lot of work though.
That's what it's gonna take. Ain't none of this easy.
Man, I tell you, it took a lot of late nights and early mornings and under houses and jacking houses and a lot of that grind for them 10.
For the 10.
Them 10 is the true journey. That's the true story. The work that went into those 10.
Do you have pictures of all 10?
No.
Most of. I know I got the first 2 on my Facebook.
You got to print them out and frame them.
We need to find
Y'all
out.
need to,
We need to.
especially the ones you know you got.
Yeah.
You got the first one?
I got the first two.
Got the first two. Y'all print them, frame them, put them on the wall. When you walk in the office, when you walk in the house, put the address on the bottom. You know what I mean? Because when we start looking at people building generational wealth, you know what they have in common? They know stories about their grandparents. At least they make them up. Or you walk in that restaurant and it's got the first building up. This was this what started us. You see what I'm saying? Because that's inspiration. Now your kids can point and say, man, y'all, or your grandkids, remember Papa told us about this house? He got dirty. You see what I'm saying? Y'all got to print them up today. Print them today.
We get back.
Right.
But let's go back to this flip though, because we ain't gonna talk around this flip.
All right, so
we got shut down.
How
long it took to get the permit?
It didn't take that long. It probably took about 2-3 days.
Okay.
One of his students, one of his players' mom actually worked in the office. So she was like, y'all ain't putting no permit? And y'all got my son helping. He was helping us with the demo. He was helping us with the demo.
The son that was helping y'all.
Yes.
Y'all dead wrong for that.
And yes, I forgot about that. Yeah.
We ain't know no better.
She was like, I should have checked it myself. You should have told us.
She verbally spanked y'all.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's all right, though. She got that permit, though.
But she helped us get it, and then we were back up and rolling. I think the biggest part of it was we thought we were real savvy with credit cards, but our credit card bills was like $25, $35
in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
But when we started to fund this rehab, it ended up being like $400, $500 each.
Get rough.
We got rough. Credit scores went dropping drastically. We were trying to figure out which one we gonna pay. If we pay this, we'll get this much available so we can finish this.
That's the real grind now.
Yeah, juggling. So y'all know that happens with a lot of people, but a lot of people not willing to go through that to get where y'all are today. They just want to be where y'all at today. Oh, no. Sometimes you're gonna have to juggle. Sometimes it's gonna be them bad nights. Mm-hmm. So how did y'all finish this first one?
It took 6 months. So it went from 3 to 6. Handymans. A couple of drunk handymans that some days they came up, some days they didn't.
They got done though.
They got done. 6 months.
We on the market.
Inspectors made us redo quite a few things.
Okay.
But we did it.
I think to the original question of kind of how we changed, this is what we really changed. It really wasn't that part of it. We kind of overcame that.
Okay.
What really stuck a thorn in our side was the disposition part. We had this.
What is disposition?
Disposition is when you're trying to sell the property, rent the property, make some money off the property. When we buy it, do all the rehab, we spend the money. But in the disposition, we are making money. Mm-hmm. So it's time to sell. Now it's time to make some money.
It's our first flip.
We actually had this property under contract 2 times before we actually sold it. And the property didn't sell for no reason of our own. The buyer lost her job.
The week of closing.
That's the
you
worst.
smelled the money then. The week of closing.
Everything is ready to go. Needed it ain't the word. Everything ready to go. Go make some money. Lose a job. Back to the market. Then we get another contract on it.
And you're like, oh, it's cash.
Government agency.
It's cash.
They good. The government, everybody know the government
Close
gonna pay.
quick.
All of their inspectors retired. So they had nobody to come and inspect the house for the government.
We waited probably about 45 days before we just ended the contract.
Oh, so this one of the things teaching y'all a lesson.
Oh, lessons. That's how we get here.
Patience,
That's how we get to what we do.
Because I want to know,
all this here. So it's
from that one house.
From that one
house. House 11.
House 11 was the one that made us who we are for real.
So what do you mean? Okay, so you sold it?
We sold it
to a realtor.
A year later. It took a year and a day to sell it.
From the time you bought it?
From the time we bought it.
From the time we bought it.
Okay.
A year and a day.
Remind you, our loan was for 6 months.
So what happens with the loan?
We had to pay an extension fee. That was some more money.
For 6 months.
And like literally they were like, what are you going to do with this house? We under contract. You've been under contract. Well, we under contract again. Are you going to sell it? We sure hope so.
Yeah.
Our loan expired. The 6 month extension expired.
The day before closing. Are y'all still cool with that lender?
We are.
Very.
We're actually in the mastermind together.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. So did you make a profit?
Yes, but we wasn't supposed to.
What does that mean?
If it wasn't for a local flipper in the area who flipped 3 houses all while we were doing one and drove the market sales up, we would have lost.
But that's what happens now. That is part of it. That's the risk we take. Are the values going to go up while we are doing this? And over the past 10 years, all markets have went up. Now, we don't know what's going to happen, and we're going to talk about this too over the next year, 2 years. But for 10 years straight, I don't think we ever seen a market like we seen across the country. It wasn't no because you're in Atlanta, because you're in Birmingham. It was the United States went up. All right, so we sold that one. House 11. I like that. House 11. We can open up a restaurant. Call it House 11.
And House 11 is where, don't laugh, but I didn't know what a refinance was. We didn't know what a refinance was. So started looking at towards the month 10 and month 11. It's like, we got one extension. I don't know if they'll give us another one. So we started looking into what is a refinance. I never really understood it because we still young overall.
I think
in the business.
Around the end, Antonio understood it, but it just didn't make sense to me.
It didn't.
And he kept trying to like find the simplest way to break it down. I'm like, nope, that sounds illegal. Nope. Nope.
It did.
I'm not doing that.
So
like,
that's when we kind of studied it and understood. Okay,
we're doing a refinance.
So
what did you think was illegal, and then why did you look at doing the refinance?
Well, I think it's all about how Antonio phrases things.
Okay,
it's like we can be into the house without using any of our own money. That's impossible. No, that's not true. He's like, you're gonna pay off the first lenders, and you're not gonna have any of your money into it. You're gonna get your money back. No, I'm not going to be into a house without any of my own money like that. That just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Like, no, that's some cricket stuff.
So y'all sold that one?
Sold that one.
Okay.
So looking at the refinances, I realized if I would have refinanced 6 months ago, I would have got my money back and I would have had some equity in this house. But I didn't know, just didn't understand. So at that point in time, it started planting seeds of just buy the house, fix it, and refinance.
And keep it.
What if you did it quicker? You might even make more money than what you put down. So that's when the wheels started turning to what we do today.
Moving too fast, though.
It is.
I'm sorry.
Moving too fast.
Because even though we didn't sell that house, even though it stayed on the market, we still was doing real estate. So, like, we didn't have any credit at that point. We really didn't have any cash. And nobody knew it. They just... I don't know why they believed in us, honestly. I really don't. But we started doing subject to deals.
Hold on, though, before we go there, because that's a whole nother, right? But let's talk about the refinance, though, because I want people to understand it, just like you didn't understand it. So I borrowed $50,000 from this banker lender. House is worth $100,000. I got to put $20,000 in it. When I do a refinance, it pays off the first mortgage, the person I borrowed the 50 from. And depending on what value I got or what value they give me, what loan value they give me, I may get back my 20.
Yes.
Plus some closing costs.
So
that's the perfect refinance when you're talking about an investment property.
Yes.
Right? Okay. What if they say the house is valued at $70,000? Then you got to leave some money into the refinance. But sometimes it's worth doing that too if you're keeping it for a rental.
Yes.
Correct. Okay. All right. So we got the refinance.
Yes.
So you good with the refinance? You good with the refinance?
No, we did refinance the first one.
You didn't. I know you sold that one, but I'm saying you good with the concept of it.
Yes.
So while we're waiting on House 11 to sell, what are we doing?
We are telling people we buy houses cash.
Okay.
But we don't.
Yeah, really got
we
the
really
cash
got no cash.
I mean, that's what everybody do. That's what all the. I mean, that's so okay. But you got the other 10 that's paying rent.
We got the other 10 that's paying rent.
Both of y'all done quit your jobs.
Yeah, we were.
Y'all full time.
We full time.
Okay.
Sink or swim.
Don't be laughing, Ramon.
Hold on, no. Let me ask this though. Hold on, no. Had y'all had any kids yet?
Yes.
So let's back up. So this is House 11 is 20.
We sold it in 2016. So 2015, 2016.
2015, when did you have your first kids?
So we had Aaliyah in 2011, but we had baby Tonio in 2015.
Why you working on this house?
While working on this house.
Oh, so you really weren't in the field no more?
That's
over.
That's another reason it was kind of left field because I was by myself. So.
Or you had nobody to manage you?
Yeah, you know,
I would show up for lunch.
You know, I need guidance sometimes.
Need some guidance.
She my yin and my yang. So
I got you. So now we got rental properties. We got this house that's selling, and we full time. We got 2 babies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So my old boss was like, listen, I'm getting ready to move in with my boyfriend down in Mobile. I can't sell this house. I tried to put it on the market. Nobody bought it. I need you to do something with it.
This your boss from Regions Bank.
What you want me to do with it? I don't know what you want to do with it. You and Tonio need to figure it out.
Oh, wow.
It's like, you think she'd be interested in the subject too? She probably gonna think we crazy. Tonio, you do it. You talk to her. She said, deal. So I helped her sell some of her stuff on Facebook Marketplace.
About the contents of the property.
Like all of her things that she didn't want to take so she can have moving expenses. I think we gave her $2,000.
Down for the subject too?
Yep. For moving.
Maybe
$1,000. I probably sold the TV. What was that? A dining room table.
You sold her stuff to pay her to.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
With her in the house. I'm gonna put this on Facebook for you on Marketplace. How much you think we get that much? Okay, we do that.
Wow. So subject to, because we started with buying whole rentals. Next was a flip going on, right? Now we're talking about subject to. What is a subject to?
So you're buying the house with the existing mortgage still in place.
Okay. So now your old boss owes X amount of dollars. She's just ready to leave.
She's ready
to go. And she is not able to sell the property. So now you sell her stuff, her contents, and give it to her as a down payment.
For moving expenses.
Yep. Okay. So what's next? So now this is your house.
Well, before she officially moved out, we started trying to do the lease option strategy.
Hold on, wait a minute now. So you're doing subject to with the lease option.
Let me back up just a little bit. So during that 2015-16 time, we were still buying education.
Okay, got you.
So I bought a guy named Joe McCall.
Okay.
I bought his program, and in his program, he talks about lease options and those type of things. So we had, and even in our other programs we bought, they talked about subject twos. So it was just one of the things where you read it and you heard about it, but it was our first time really somebody presenting it. And it's like, I think we can do it. We can't do that. I think we can do it, because the lady was trying to sell her house, but she couldn't get what she want and pay the realtor. She would have had to come to closing with money.
Gotcha.
So she's like, I ain't got no money. I ain't got no money to come to closing to pay everybody. And so that's how we get in the picture. So we were still doing education, and it was all just kind of adding up.
So now we're using the subject to strategy to acquire it, but we want to use another strategy to sell it.
Yes.
Right? So we want to use the lease option, lease purchase strategy to sell it. So now we got it over here, right? And we didn't have to go to the bank to get the funding.
Nope.
So we did subject to.
Yep.
Y'all pretty good at subject to.
We love them.
Okay. Then I got to get rid of it, and I'm going to do it with the lease option sale. Y'all really, really good with that. So subject to acquire, lease option sale. This different, because most people don't talk about this the way you either hear lease option or subject to. You don't hear both of them together.
That's what happened when you broke.
You weren't broke.
Rephrase. Yeah, where you get it out the mud.
Right.
Yeah, I like that one. I like that one. You
stuff.
being creative. So now this house is house 12.
Yes.
Okay. I like this. We had 12 already. So you got it. She moved out. Then what?
Before she moved out, we told her what our strategy was, what we were going to do. So she would allow us to do open houses.
So y'all were upfront and honest with her about what's going on.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. I believe in that. My mind ain't good enough to lie, so
He'll
I
forget
gotta
the
tell
lie.
the truth
He'll forget
all
the
the time
lie.
because
That's why you love him.
So she would literally open up the house for us. We would come and we would show. I think we used to do open houses like from 6 to 8, and we would show it to different clients who were interested in lease optioning.
Okay.
And we got this one couple credit score. They did the wife credit score. It was like 720. Like, she ready to go. What's she trying to lease option for? She was like, I got some baggage behind me.
Okay.
Okay, well, we gonna help you. She put down $7,500.
So you hadn't put down anything basically, but then you got a $7,500 option fee from her.
Yep.
Up front.
Upfront.
So we already made $7,500.
$7,500, and the first month's rent not included.
Wow. How long did she have before she had to buy it?
She had 18 months to buy it.
Why 18?
Because she had a foreclosure.
But she wasn't on the mortgage. She was only on the deed.
Why did they put it on her credit?
Because
It
they
wasn't on
foreclosed
her.
on the deed,
Yeah.
not the mortgage. Whenever they do a foreclosure, they foreclose on the deed, not on the actual mortgage.
So the foreclosure wasn't on her credit. That's why we didn't see it. It was in her
Records.
records.
Public records.
Title
Yes,
search.
it was in her title search. So once it came up in the title search, you had to wait. I don't want to lie. I think it's like 2 years or something like that.
Okay.
So she was like a little bit into it. So 18 months was the perfect window for her to
Be able to
maintain
buy.
her credit and buy the house.
So she wanted the house. Okay. So 18 months. What happens?
She didn't buy in 18 months.
What you mean she didn't buy it? She gave you $7,500.
Life happens.
Okay.
So life happened. She did an extension fee. We still worked with her. And, these some real numbers, Tanya. All right. So when we subject to the house, I think it was like for 109 is what the existing balance was. Is that right? About 109. And we sold it to them when they bought it for 165.
Okay.
She couldn't sell it for 120 when she was trying to sell it.
Okay.
We only sprayed the bathroom tile white from green
Okay.
and gave it to him.
Gave it to the lease option people at 165. So we stand to make what is that, 57,000 profit?
Not including the 7,500 and the cash flow while they were in it.
So the 7,500 doesn't go towards the purchase price. It's just for the fee of that option.
When we structured that one, it didn't because we didn't know.
Oh, so you made money without knowing. Wow. Okay. So 18 months later, she didn't close. You keep all the profits from the rental income. You getting paid that way. You got the $7,500 up front. You already got paid that. So you got a rental property that you didn't put no money down. You got $7,500 before you even basically closed on it from buying it, and you can sell it at 160ish if she closed. All right, so you extended it because she didn't close. Now what? She had to give you another fee.
She gave me 2,500, but then she closed for the 165.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Within 18 months,
it was more like 20.
about 20. So it wasn't that long.
No,
wasn't
not
that
that
long.
long
Okay.
afterwards.
So you made another 2,500. So you made about 60,000 on this one property with no money out of your pocket.
None.
Wow, I'm sold. I don't never want to do another flip.
So we called the ex-flippers.
That's where that came from.
That's where it came from.
But y'all haven't been calling y'allself the ex-flippers.
No.
When did this name come? Like when did the ex-flippers come?
When it started working.
Yeah.
But y'all been doing the lease option thing. Y'all are really, really good at it. So that was 2017.
That was 2016, 17. By the time it closed, it was 2017.
2017. So that's 5 years ago. So what happened with you sold House 11 in top of 2016? We good.
Good.
what happened next between house 11 and house 12? When did 13, 14, what were y'all doing between those two?
All right, so house 12 came probably in February, March
Of
of 2016.
okay.
House 13 came like the same day. We did. We closed on 2 the same day.
Which
Okay.
two that was?
It was Vaughn.
Oh yeah.
We called a closing attorney. So we were hitting up people who were about to go in foreclosure and just trying to stop them from going into foreclosure. Like, let us stop you.
So y'all doing your own lead gen at this time. Y'all office, if I walk in your office, I'm gonna call it office right today. Y'all are calling people, door knocking, sending out stuff to get leads to do what?
To buy their houses.
To buy their house.
But I'm saying
subject to
the existing mortgage.
lease option, anything.
So you were really focused on creative.
Mm-hmm.
So you knew after house 11, you didn't want no more flips.
Yeah.
Was that the last flip?
No, that wasn't the last one.
Okay.
But we knew that strategy
That wasn't the main thing.
that's not who we are. So we knew that we had to.
We didn't want to go back to that feeling. We were still shell shocked from it.
Okay.
So we didn't want to go back to that.
So now we just in the creative space.
I'm gonna own a financial building. Y'all just made me think
better.
of something. Yeah. Do a lease option on one. I'm gonna post that today. Watch me post it. Let me see what
We're gonna
happens.
get a lot of leads.
Right.
'Cause that's the thing about it. Now everybody got to rent something. Everybody looking to be creative.
But I think there's some investors out there that
Yes.
man, y'all just made us a. Thank y'all, them marks.
No problem.
All right, so now you bought 2 that same day, and this is 2017. So we still 5 years ago.
I sold her furniture too for. So her big screen TV, her couch, a table.
When you sell these people stuff, do you keep most of it?
I need it all out anyway because I don't got time to.
Oh, when you gave her the money?
Yeah. I didn't know the people paid them directly.
Oh, you just help them. You just facilitate.
Facilitated.
Yep.
You provide a service to make me feel, I got you.
I don't need you to ask me for any more money because I don't have it. So if I can find the money for you, then we good.
So we got that one. The same day we got
25-20.
okay. So now
We leased option
That's
that
not
one.
25-20. Vaughn is 709. You
Vaughn,
got
709.
Rockingham and 709.
No, we got.
That's in 2 more weeks.
Oh,
so y'all finna start rolling now
We went crazy.
with the subject to acquisition, lease, purchase, sale. Boom, 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 boom. We don't need no banks.
we ain't bankable.
We couldn't.
I mean, I ain't
we
bankable.
weren't bankable anymore.
You don't have to be though, because being creative as y'all are.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we starting to get these. Do we run into any issues? Because that's sweet now. That's just starting to sound. I get my option fee up front. I got somebody paying the mortgage or the rent or the mortgage, and I get everything over.
First issue. Let's see. What was the first issue?
I know we had one issue with the disposition
Okay.
of 25-20.
Are y'all closing these with law firms or closing them in the
closing
living
with a
room?
lawyer.
Using the lawyer.
We're losing a lawyer to close them.
Y'all using my buddy over there?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're using your buddy, and that's kind of how our relationship
Even started.
even started because I guess he was giving us free consultations, not even knowing it. Because we want to do this. How do we do it?
He told you how to do it.
This.
And here's the paperwork.
He made it because he knew you was coming to him. So he made it so when you come to him, he ain't got much work to
Ain't
do.
got much work.
That's how he sold us. Like
Y'all
even to
still
this
go there,
day.
right? Yeah,
Even to
yeah.
this
Yeah, I
day.
like there. I like going there.
Because he was the first one to say, yes, I'll do it. Explain it to us what we were doing. Because we knew a little bit of it just from reading it. But he was like, okay, this is the other side of it. And then he would explain it to the tenant buyers so that they knew what they were getting themselves into. And he would explain it to the sellers so that they knew.
So when you go to closing on the lease option, the tenant buyer comes in as well?
Yes, that's everybody doesn't do that.
Yeah, because I was gonna say that. Now most 99% of the people don't do that.
We do that because we want them to know what they're getting into. I think it's one thing to say Antonio and Ashley said this, but it's another thing to say
The closing
the
attorney.
attorney.
Do you record the option?
No.
Nope.
So you're not recording the options.
Mm-mm.
You just
He's just facilitating the closing and
notarizes it.
notarizing.
the option.
Yes.
Okay. Why don't you record the option?
Because we didn't learn that till later, and we were having success without it.
Okay.
And to be technical, when you record the option, it clouds the title. And I know I just said
You just said a lot.
a
man.
lot,
Like, Lord
but
have mercy.
it potentially gives them
Equitable interest.
interest in the property. So when we go to refinance or we go to do anything with the property, they have a say,
I don't know if you can
or they
refinance.
have to sign off on us
If
doing
you
what we
can
need to do.
Is there anything and this is us talking that as you create the option, we can write in there that they don't have a say?
Absolutely, you can create that.
Potentially, yes.
Okay, but just it's easier not to.
Easier to not record the option. Even though they got the option, it's not recorded. And when we did it, he said you ain't got to record it. So we just followed him.
Okay, that's what the attorney said.
That's what the attorney said.
Listen, man, we just roll with the attorney because here's the thing: if it's something happened, hey man, I got it from over here on the email.
Yep.
And because it says it's prepared by him.
Oh, perfect. So you got a really good attorney.
Yes.
Okay. And in a lot of states, they don't have attorneys; they have title agencies. But same thing, you got to get the good title agency. Okay, so now we rolling, but now we get a hiccup on one of them.
You want me to go?
Go ahead.
We did, when we bought this one, we actually gave this lady some money. We lease optioned this house. We didn't subject to it.
So now this one you acquiring it
I
through
acquired
these
those
options
because she wasn't comfortable with the subject to.
Okay.
So we're like, okay, well let's just lease option it. So we end up giving her $1,000,
Okay.
but we promised her $4,000 when we sell. So
And we extended the lease option for 5 years. So if tenant buyer one didn't buy,
You got time.
we got time
Okay.
to not have to scramble.
So the issue came when we had to sell the property. Because we weren't necessarily the owners on record, we had to go back to her.
Yes.
So when we go back to her, she
I'm like, Tonya,
kinda
don't let her see how
has
much we
to
about
sign
to make.
off, and now she sees
That big jump.
that chunk.
That 50.
So now that four go to, I need a little more.
Did she?
We gave it to her.
How much more?
I think we gave another $5.
Yeah, it wasn't much.
So what if you didn't want to give it to her?
She wasn't gonna sign.
There was an option. We could have exercised our option and bought it, but we would have had to wait 90 days to sell it.
because we was gonna have to record it then.
But then you had to buy, you got to spend money
You
on
gotta
buying
spend
the
money.
cost of the money.
Yeah, it wasn't.
So how do we prevent that next time?
You prevent it next time. Subject to is always better
Okay.
because you're on title. But also, if your tenant buyer is getting close, you can actually go on and exercise your option.
Can you, when you are buying as the tenant buyer, can you record yours and then you don't have to go back to them?
You can.
I have to ask my lawyer about that.
Okay. I mean, it just, it jumped up in my head because now I have the right to sell and it's recorded.
I don't know if FHA will still.
We need to ask that.
That's a good question to ask because I know from a contract standpoint, we couldn't necessarily go under contract
Until it was the 91st day.
Yeah, which is I don't even talk about that.
so-
I don't even understand what's the I never understood that, but it's supposed to stop the flipping.
Yeah.
That's what's supposed to stop the and people look at flipping two ways. It's supposed to stop that fast overnight, next day flipping, which it shouldn't matter. But okay, all right. So now this one, you had to give her a couple more dollars. That was the only hiccup.
That was really the only hiccup because the tenant was.
Well, no, we had hiccups with the tenant. It started
The
off,
tenant, the end tenant buyer.
yes, it started off as a couple, and then it ended up being just the girlfriend. And then it was kind of like the guy was trying to get into the house because he's like, wait, I put down my option fee. This is some of my house too.
Ooh.
So it became sticky before she actually purchased.
But she closed it out.
But she closed it out.
She did then how long did it take for her to close it to buy it from y'all?
It was 8 months.
That ain't bad.
Oh, it was good.
No. We kind of.
That was because how long did she have?
She was the first person to actually buy.
Yeah.
Though.
She bought before the other.
She bought before House 12.
Yeah, she bought before House 12.
And then it was so much easier understanding the closing statement because we had no money into it. So everything was profit. I became a believer.
That's when she got on board. She wasn't on board while we was doing it.
I was just doing it because I supposed to trust you. You're my husband, so I'm gonna let you lead me.
When did y'all get married?
2011.
Oh, y'all been married 11 years?
Yep.
It's been good.
It's been great.
No BS.
You know, some days you got.
Because y'all work together every day. So, I mean, now working together in a business that's got a little pressure.
A lot of pressure.
Sometimes a little pressure, right? Tell me, I'm not talking to Tony or Ashley.
Okay.
I'm talking to Ashley.
All right.
What has been your biggest challenge in the relationship?
Probably separating yourself when you get frustrated. Like,
You mean like you get in your car, he get in his car, or go in another room?
no, you need to go in another room. If it's a car, you real mad. Like,
or when you get in the car?
Yeah, if you got to get in the car and go, you real mad. It shouldn't even get there. But just that, bro, you doing too much. I need a break. And I think the biggest challenge might be always doing work. Like, something you talk about is going to trigger
Work,
the business, something.
Has that taken a toll on y'all at any time, or how have you adjusted? What have you done to, because you've been together a long time, but you've been married 11 years. What have you done to adjust to not always? Because I mean, I know I would be, and I've had that in my relationships. Like we sitting at the table and I think about something, I start talking about
Like
the business,
and
right?
Next thing you know, it's just the whole conversation.
Oh, the whole conversation, man. How we refinance. Matter of fact, do your aunt got a down payment, like the whole nine, right? Right at Thanksgiving, like y'all selling. Y'all selling Big Mama house or what around here, like, you know. So what have you done? What has helped y'all to? Because I know y'all, right? What has helped you? Because there's people that's out here like, I can't work with my significant other, or that relationships have failed because they didn't put the right adjustments or things in place. What have you done?
We have rules. So,
Okay.
like, one rule is stay in your lane. Don't overstep your boundaries if that's not your expertise in the business.
That's a bad word, though. When you see people saying, like, people like, I ain't got no boundaries.
You can't do everything in the business.
Okay.
You're not made to do everything. You're not an expert at everything. You may be good at it, but it doesn't mean you're an expert. There's some parts of the business Antonio can suggest, and I'll consider it, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to do it because that's my lane. When we start talking about the field, because that's Tonio's, I can suggest, he'll listen. He may not do it. He may do it. I don't feel any kind of way because that's his lane.
That's his lane.
That's his lane.
So what if you suggest something that you really like adamant, like I want the house to be pink, but he don't do it?
We survey.
Oh, so it's a democracy.
Yep.
It's a democracy. Y'all really work together and understand. But how do y'all separate? 7 o'clock, gotta go get the kid, got practice, gotta go home, had a long day.
There's really no separation.
What happened at 9:30?
In a ideal world,
TV is what separates it.
Y'all watch TV?
We'll watch
show?
a movie.
What y'all show?
Whatever Tonio finds. I hate TV, but it's our...
Oh, you don't really care for TV?
No, but it'll turn me off from
until
work.
I watch it. That's when she started caring.
Yeah, I can't turn...
Oh, she
I don't
don't like
turn
that
on
channel.
TV on my own.
She don't like TV.
What you watch?
My favorite show right now is Snowfall.
Is it back on?
No.
Oh,
But
that's
if
the
I'm not
bad
watching Snowfall, I'm watching something with action,
I got you.
shooting.
It has to be action. I'll watch it if it has action. If it's drama,
Yeah, it's
nobody
tough.
wants to cry.
So I'm asking this because a lot of us, as we build, we're talking about over time. Those things weigh on our relationship, so the business doesn't grow. You know what I
And
mean?
we sneak out and do dates.
I'm divorced, and I'm probably 95% of the problem. Like I'm gonna take most
That's
of it.
big.
I'm gonna take
That's
most
huge.
of it,
That's huge.
right? Especially as I have been growing a business all my life as a kid, and I probably put the business over my relationships. I just finished watching Grant Cardone talk about this. He was like, he didn't get married or didn't have kids till he was 50 or 51 because he knew he wasn't going to sacrifice building his business. And I've been in that between because I've been married, I got kids. Oh, man, I got to balance the kids. Oh, man, I want to make sure. And I had to, at one point, I had to pick. Now, as I get older, I want, hopefully I'll get the right person to take the bottle with me and, go some other places. But you have to learn how to, and I'm going to hit y'all with this word because we both have to do it. You have to be able to submit and be submissive to the relationship and not just Tonio got to do what Ashley said, Ashley got to do what Tonio say. So what does that look like as you're growing? Because somebody, and we talked about this, somebody is the leader. Somebody is
I got a perfect answer for
okay.
God is the leader. So how we look at it in the triangle, God is the point. And if we are both looking up to God, we're still connected at the same time, and we're going to grow together. So, yes, I'm the leader. Once it gets to that next level of the household, I know I'm the leader. There is no question who's the leader, but that doesn't mean that I can't empower my people under me and let them do what they do. So
that was powerful.
Ashley is the leader of the house, period.
And she know it, and we know it, right? And because y'all know that, I'm going to go back to your lane. Y'all accept y'all roles in lane. And that keep it going where y'all building a $100, $200 million company in 10 years.
Yep.
I love it. I love it. I'm going back to the houses now. I just had to ask, man. I really wanted to pull some dirt. You know what I mean? But we don't do dirt on here, man. But so let's go back to the houses. Y'all are lease purchasing, but y'all have termed it. Y'all have got your own name. When did y'all go into X Flipper Academy?
Probably about last year, July, is when we officially started to name it.
It was this guy. He came to my office and
heard he was a great guy before you talk about him.
Man.
Good looking guy. I'm talking about, yeah.
Great guy came to my office and kind of spanked me a little bit and broke some stuff down to me from an older big brother standpoint. And at that point, we decided to do a couple things different, add a couple things to the repertoire, and coaching was one of them. And that's where the term X-Flipper came from, because we started our coaching program and named it X-Flipper.
But
that ain't go.
But X-Flipper really means forget flipping, but the other word. But I wouldn't let him use that word. So our happy medium was X, like ex-wife. Flipping. Yep.
I got it. So we're gonna have some shirts with the bird on there.
Right, that's what he wanted.
If it was my show.
I'm like, you got too many kids to even have.
You know what? That's stuff I had to think about, because I was fussing at my son the other day because when he get up in the morning, I'm listening to affirmations, get my mind right, and he back in the back listening to some kids. I don't know what they talking about, but I had to go back and think. I was listening to NWA and Luke. It ain't no different.
It's not.
It's no different, right? I hate when people say, man, these kids, hey, that music is not different where we broke it in. You know what I mean? Like all the stuff we listen to.
It was new. It was super new then.
Woo, right? But I had to think about him and their growth and what they're listening to. And I have to be mindful of because sometimes I get ready to post a reel and I'm like, man, I want to post Luke or UGK. And I'm like, you're right. They looking at us. So, but I also want to be real. And it's a careful balance. Like they know I curse. They know I curse. But I don't want them cursing. So it's like, as a parent, we got to really delicately balance this thing. And who watching us? Are we going to turn off somebody in our audience because I say a cuss word? No, probably not. Because if I turn you off because I curse, you're probably not going to be around me because I curse. I work on it. Right? So, yeah, wow. Okay. So, X-Flipper. A year old, but y'all been doing lease purchases for up until that point. So before we get to X-Flipper Academy, bring me from 17, 18 to 2021. What were you doing on a consistent basis? Were y'all teaching people then at that point?
No.
We had mentees that was kind of coming around. We would help.
Not paying y'all though.
Yeah,
No.
definitely not paying us.
Yeah. I'm so glad y'all had that
Definitely
talk,
not.
man, last year.
Ooh,
Ooh,
definitely
Lord.
not paying us.
You know, I'm gonna tell you why I had that conversation with y'all. Cause that part of it burned me out because you want to give to everybody. And when I started coaching, I probably had too much of that still going. And it didn't help my business from that point. I'm getting better now. I took, a year off, so I'm getting better. So I teach from and I talk to people from my experience. What you do with it, you do with it. You know what I mean? So you had mentees coming around, hanging out, but you were still doing the business.
Yes.
Okay. So what were you doing? Just straight lease purchases?
Well, it shifted. Somewhere in there it shifted
To what?
to where we actually started buying more houses. Not necessarily subject to them. I say what switch was, we had an investor approach us
Okay.
about doing some deals together. And we sat down and we kind of created a system to where she could win and we could win.
Okay.
And in that system, we was actually buying and rehabbing the houses, but we wasn't selling them. We would just refinance on them and give her money back with a little profit.
So you was using
So we were still into the house with none of our own money.
because she put all the money up.
She
Yes.
put we call it gap funder. She
Okay.
put the down payment money for the fix and flip loan.
And then started a rehab.
But you go get the funding to purchase it
Yes.
and some of the rehab money.
All
Well,
the
no,
rehab
she was
money.
she did the start, and then we did, the rest of it from
Okay. Okay.
Made sure we got that rehab money this time too.
Them lessons teach you something
Yes,
special.
sir.
Don't they?
Yes, sir. So we getting the purchase and the rehab from one lender,
from hard money.
and then she was like,
Fill in the gap.
she was filling in the gap, fix the house, refinance the house, give her a little profit, and now we got the house, got debt on the house, but we
Okay.
have no money into the house.
But what are you doing with it? Like, are you
Now we're
renting them
lease
out?
optioning.
So still
Now
lease
we're
option.
lease option. That ain't going nowhere.
Okay. So this is how you sell all of your houses, lease options. Why?
If we don't flip it, then we're lease optioning.
When do you make that decision on which one you're using?
If the debt, so because I don't want to use those terms, if the rent doesn't cover the mortgage enough that the lender will say they'll lend it to you.
Okay.
So
That was a good job right there.
Yeah, that was beautiful. I
That was
love
great.
that.
I didn't know how you was going.
Man, she is
without
amazing.
saying,
Without saying.
the acronym.
Yes.
I got you. So, all right. So now we keep doing that. You got a partner. So now you're buying more. Then the market's different too. The market has changed it's much more competitive. So you got to get in there and buy something. So you got inventory.
Yep.
Okay. So now we're very successful at that, but we don't have a name for it. Fast forward to 2021, X-Flipper Academy.
Yep.
I become an X-Flipper.
Yep.
That is like so catchy. Right? It is. I like that. And I never knew that what you just said, it was the X. I got you. X-Flip Academy launches, and I remember it was your birthday?
It was supposed to, but we didn't make the deadline. So it was just like,
I mean, basically your birthday.
okay, my
We did
birthday.
a soft lunch.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Basically your birthday. All right. And what have you experienced in your business, the real estate business, to the academy now? How is it? How is the academy?
The academy is great. You can tell that now the people who we were teaching before, they were just calling on you just to call on you, and they really wasn't implementing it. They'll just call you back in another week or two and ask you the same questions. Like you see people that are actually implementing it, and then you see the success because they're doing it and because they pay for it.
And do you think because it's formal now? It's supposed if I call you, I gotta. You see what I'm saying? I don't have nothing to guide. I don't have like 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you told me, but I was driving or we was out in the house. But now I can watch this.
And you can rewatch it.
I can rewatch it, and I can come to the events and I
you
can do different
call,
stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree.
So are y'all enjoying?
I
From
enjoy that a lot.
Academy perspective,
Love it.
what don't you like? What has been the thing that says, you know what, we just want to go back and do our own houses? Anything made you feel that way as you're starting to coach? And
I can tell you from my standpoint.
Okay.
We probably had two different answers.
Yeah, we do that a lot. The business hasn't grown like I wanted to grow.
The academy business?
Real estate
or the real estate business? Okay.
Academy business is fine, great, but the real estate haven't grown like I wanted it to. And not saying we're doing less, but I look at if we didn't start the academy, where took us 10 years, took us 5 years to buy 10 houses, then we started buying 10 houses a year. So like, if we kept that pace, it's 30 houses a year. But at the same time, that is a draining process. Mm-hmm. So would I have wanted to be at 30 houses a year?
It's a job.
I don't think he wants to be at 30 houses
I don't necessarily want
to. It's a job.
I think I want to be at 30 houses a year.
You
not
be at 30?
Yeah.
Okay. So how are we going to get there? Because it's got to be a happy medium.
Systems. It's automating the coaching business. So we was into it, but now we have just released our modules. So now that's module based. We have a coach that's going to coach the students. We're still going to do our part as far as the academy, but we've basically systematized the coaching part to where that can run 80 to 90% without us.
Okay.
And I had a person, because the real estate was systematized, but I didn't have no backups for the people I had. Okay. And when I started losing people,
he started adding himself back.
I had to step back in.
Every time you get out, they drain you back in.
I had to get back in.
Drain you back in. But that's a natural, because it's your baby. It's still a baby.
Yeah.
You know, these businesses are still our babies, and as you put more systems in, bringing more people, that is the name of it. And that's painful. Hiring.
Yeah.
Hiring people, your family, your cousins, your best friend, all of that.
Yeah.
You know, and that's something that I had to learn early on, is you got to pick the right people. And it's got to be the people that can do. VAs are great. You got to get people, but VAs can't do nothing in the field.
Nope.
Yes.
They can't.
No, I'm saying actually being out there.
Maybe not being out there, but they can monitor it.
Yeah, they can monitor it. They can monitor it when you train them right. Mm-hmm. You train them right. So now we got the real estate business. We got the coaching. Mm-hmm. We got the academy. Mm-hmm. We do some lending. Mm-hmm. We ain't got no book yet.
We got a book.
I know.
We got an ebook.
I know you ain't mentioning it. I'm gonna make sure.
We got an ebook, how to invest in real estate without using any of your own money.
Okay.
How to fix your credit, how to build your credit.
There you go.
So we got 3 ebooks that we have.
One thing I will say.
I was gonna say, you gonna talk about yours?
Nah, that's too.
You your ghostwriter.
2023.
To be announced. What is it? TBA? Yeah, that's TBA. Can't give them all that. But I will say, if I didn't say it clearly, Ramon was the guy who came to our office.
Yes.
And broke it down to us. So, and for that, we are grateful for you.
Definitely. Absolutely.
You've really changed our life and blessed our life. I do want to say that if anybody watching this podcast, just because y'all watching it, we'll give our book for free. However you do it. Whatever you get, that's on you.
Well, look, because I'm going to tell them how to go get it.
Okay.
We'll put it in the link. We'll put a link down there. I got a question, though.
Okay.
We're still at X-Flipper Academy. Everything going well. It's 2022. We're about to go into 2023. Mm-hmm. Tell me something that a goal 5 years from now that y'all want to exceed. Give me a goal and tell me what you're going to have to sacrifice to get that goal. Ooh. And it can be a family goal and business goal. Each one of y'all got one, but what is something that 5 years from now, I want this, but right now, I'm going to have to give up this. What is it? Give me what you want first and what you're going to have to sacrifice.
What you want, Tonya?
I want to build high rises.
Rephrase that for me.
I want to build.
Rephrase that.
Will.
I'm going to build high risers. I'm going to build something high in the sky with my name on it.
How many floors?
However high I can go.
We got to say it.
We got to say it.
At
least 30.
30. Birmingham?
It don't have to be.
Okay.
Wherever the opportunity presents itself.
What you going to have to sacrifice to get to that high rise?
Ooh, what am I sacrifice?
I mean, you know. What do you think? Or what are you gonna have to forego? You know, do you get the Bentley truck now, or do you wait after you build a high rise?
Oh, no, that don't even materialistic stuff. Don't even float our boat.
I know it.
It don't even.
So that ain't it. Yeah. So you ain't got to sacrifice.
You got to sacrifice that.
You're gonna have to sacrifice some time.
I would say that ain't no sacrifice, but I'm gonna have to pay to get in some more rooms. I'm gonna have to pay to get in some places that people are doing those type of things.
Okay.
So it's a sacrifice, but in my head, it's not a sacrifice because that's just what got to be done.
That's what got to be done.
I can't do it by myself.
Yeah, you're definitely not, Ashley.
Let's go, Miss DeMar.
No, because I really. So listen, Antonio is the visionary.
Okay.
I'm the executor. So if that's the my role is to do whatever it takes to get there.
That's
so
beautiful.
I'm gonna have the sacrifice of time, probably some relationships.
Okay.
This is so against, but it's gonna be some kid times in this to get to it. So they can't play some sports.
That's tough too.
Or I may have to get a personal driver to come get them, and I may miss a few.
And that's so tough, y'all. That is so tough. Honestly, man. You just went there. You just went there. Because you know why? I just told somebody, I'm glad, and people can, feel how you want. I'm glad my kids didn't play AAU basketball or baseball. I would have been a horrible parent.
We felt that this year.
I like the church league. Because the season started 8 weeks later, we done. I like the school league. Because we're building a company. And I don't want to miss nothing that they're doing. Mm-hmm. But when you start talking about they got 30 games in 4 months, I'm going to miss something. Mm-hmm. And I would hate to miss that first home run or stolen base or that three-pointer. Like I would feel crappy. Like no matter what I'm doing, it's no amount of money in the world to make me feel like that. So you saying that sacrifice for you might have to be a little family time.
Mm-hmm. And it's small. Like family is number one for us.
Yes.
And don't much cut into that time, but anything cut into it is something like this, something that's going to really be profound.
Take our family to the next level.
Something that's going to grow, something that's going to help our whole family. So even though we might be sacrificing that hour or two, on the grand scheme of things, it's for them.
It's for them.
And I think they understand it. At least right now they understand it. Like they get excited about it. Aaliyah's like, can I go with you? Where you going?
That's the best feeling when they ask that.
Can I just sit in the room?
Ooh, that's when it's good.
And she'll come up sometimes and like we'll be closing out Aria Live. And I'm like, what are you doing? And I just see like her eyes and she's just amazed and just like, I wanna see what they looking at. I wanna be there too.
Yeah. That's beautiful. Before we tell them how to find y'all, I need this from both of y'all. What does delayed gratification mean to you?
Holding out for a minute just to accomplish that goal. It's X-Flipper. You might not get that flip right now. You might not get that 20, 30, 40,000 right now, but you might get 60, 70 if you just hold it 6 months, if you just wait a year.
Wow. My answer going to be a little left field.
Let's go.
But when I hear delayed gratification, you bring me back to my pastor. And my pastor did a sermon. It was probably 5 years ago, but I can remember like it was yesterday. He said, if you ever want to know if you got a God-given vision, you have to count the number of people that gets blessed before you get blessed. So the delayed gratification to me means helping as many people as I can help before I receive anything in return.
Wow. Sheesh.
You went deep. That wasn't left field. That was center field.
That was center field.
That was center field, baby. That's all right. Listen, y'all. Thank y'all for being on Delayed Gratification Podcast. Tell her, how do we find y'all? What is something we can do to support?
You can find us, the Denmarks, on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We're having a conference January 27th and 28th in Birmingham. It's going to be on exactly what we talked about, the X-Flipper method, how we make money without using any of our own money. and how we help people go from renting to owning so that we can make double, sometimes triple our returns. It's called the Simple Sexy Flipping Conference. So it's simple, it's sexy, you're still flipping, you just get delayed gratification with that flipping, and you make even more money.
And you help more people.
Yep.
Thank y'all again for being on. Y'all know I love y'all. So
Love
thank
you
y'all for
too.
being on. Listen, thank y'all for joining in on the Delayed Gratification Podcast. Make sure y'all go follow and support the Denmarks. Y'all see, this was only a tip of what they do. They are so, so powerful. Again, thank y'all for watching. I love y'all. See y'all next episode.